I don't love you anymore, Barry. I never did. You were just convenient. Randall is the man I deserve. He's successful. He's powerful. You're just a warehouse worker who'll never be anything more. Those words still echo in my head like broken glass scraping against my skull. My name is Barry Allen, and I'm about to tell you how my wife stole everything from me and how I took it all back. But let me rewind to where this nightmare started, 2 weeks before my world collapsed. I came home from my double shift at the warehouse, bones aching, smelling like cardboard and sweat. Our tiny apartment was alive with screaming. Siwetina was jumping on our worn-out couch, tears streaming down her face, clutching a lottery ticket like it was made of pure light. "We won 100 million! We're rich!" My heart exploded with joy. 6 years of buying tickets every Friday, using my employee number as lucky numbers, hiding them in my father's old cigar box, the only thing I saved from the fire that killed my parents when I was 7. Finally, our suffering was over. I reached for Siwetina to hold her, to cry with her. She pulled back slightly, her phone screen glowing. I caught a glimpse. RP. "Did you check the numbers I sent you?" Her thumb swiped it away fast. Too fast. "Where did you buy the ticket?" I asked. She hesitated, just half a second, but I felt it. "Garcia's... yesterday morning." I was at Garcia's yesterday morning. I didn't see her there. Our 6-year-old daughter Luna tugged my sleeve, her voice innocent and small. "Daddy, is that from your special box under the bed?" Please, before I continue, kindly support us by subscribing, sharing, and liking the channel for more interesting stories. 2 days later, Siwetina insisted we see her lawyer to claim the ticket. I should have known something was wrong when she wouldn't let me call my buddy Jonathan, the only lawyer I knew from my foster care days. The office reeked of old money and leather. The lawyer, a sharp-faced man named Berkowitz, slid papers across his massive desk without looking at me. "Since Mrs. Allen purchased and signed the ticket," he said flatly, "it's legally hers alone, not community property." My stomach dropped. "But we're married. We share everything." He slid another document toward me. "Not according to this prenuptial agreement from 2019. The room tilted. "We never signed a prenup." Siwetina stared at the wall, her jaw tight. "Your signature is right here, Mr. Allen." I grabbed the paper. The signature looked like mine, but the R in Barry was wrong, looped when mine always slanted. My hands started shaking. I'd grown up in 12 different foster homes, bouncing around until I aged out at 16 with nothing. I taught myself to recognize forgery because kids in the system forge permission slips to survive. This was fake. As we left, a silver Bentley sat in the parking lot. Randall Pierce leaned against it, smirking at me. He winked at Siwetina. My phone buzzed. Vinny from work. "Hey man, weird question. Did you buy your Friday ticket this week?" My voice cracked. "Yeah, I did." 1 week later, I came home to find the locks changed. My clothes were stuffed in trash bags on the porch like garbage. Luna's face was pressed against the window, her small hands beating the glass, crying. Siwetina opened the door. Her face was stone cold, a stranger wearing my wife's skin. "What about Luna?" My voice shook. Her eyes turned to ice. "What about her? She'll have a better father figure in Randall. You can see her every other weekend. My lawyer will send the divorce papers." I bent down to grab my bags, my vision blurring with tears. Then I realized one was missing. "Where's my father's cigar box?" Something flickered across her face. Guilt? Fear? It vanished fast. "I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you lost it. You lose everything." That cigar box held every lottery ticket I'd bought for 6 years. Every Friday at 6:47 p.m. after my shift, I'd mark them with my father's old UV marker, a trick he taught me when I was 7, weeks before the fire took him. "Always mark what's yours in a way only you know, son." Luna suddenly broke free from Siwetina's grip and ran to me, pressing something into my palm. "Mommy said to throw this away, but it's yours." It was my father's UV marker. I slept in my car for 3 nights outside a rundown apartment building, the steering wheel digging into my ribs. On the 4th morning, an old woman with silver hair and a cane tapped on my window. "Son, you can't stay here. Come inside." Her name was Dorothy Hayes. She led me to a basement apartment that smelled like mildew and old coffee, but it had a bed and she asked for nothing. As I unpacked my pathetic trash bags, I kept muttering about the cigar box, about the tickets, about how everything was stolen. Dorothy sat down slowly, her eyes sharp despite her age. My late husband was a detective. If something was stolen, there's always a trail. She handed me the UV marker Luna had saved. My hands trembled as I pulled out an old ticket from my wallet, one I'd forgotten to put in the box. I shined the light. My initials glowed purple. B.A. The room spun. I'd marked every single ticket for 6 years. Every single one. You said your wife won $100 million from a ticket she bought at Garcia's? Dorothy's voice was steady, calculating. I nodded, barely breathing. She pulled out her phone. My nephew works at Garcia's. Let me make a call. 5 minutes later, her phone buzzed. She read the text, then looked at me with something between pity and rage. No one purchased a winning ticket there. They checked the cameras. The winner hasn't come forward yet to claim where they bought it. My heart stopped. Siwetina had lied about everything. Dorothy's nephew Tommy met us at Garcia's corner store the next morning. The back office was cramped, filled with monitors showing grainy security footage. Tommy's fingers flew across the keyboard. Here, every Friday, 6:47 p.m. Like clockwork. I watched myself on screen. 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Every Friday after my warehouse shift, buying a single ticket. Then Tommy froze the frame from 3 Fridays ago. The date of the winning draw. The E. Look at your hand. I leaned closer. On the screen, my fingers clutched the ticket as I walked toward the door. In the reflection of the store window, I saw myself pull out the UV marker and make a quick mark before sliding the ticket into my wallet. But here's the weird part, Tommy said, pulling up footage from the next day, Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Siwetina appeared on screen, entering the store. She looked around nervously, walked to the lottery display, touched nothing, then left. She didn't buy a ticket. She never does. The door opened. Vinny rushed in, his face flushed. I did some digging at work. Siwetina claimed the ticket 2 days after the draw. She told the lottery commission she bought it with cash, no receipt. They don't verify purchase location if you have the physical ticket. Tommy pointed at the screen again. Most people don't know this, but you should sign the back of a lottery ticket immediately when you buy it. For protection. My throat went dry. I signed mine, with the UV marker. The wedding invitation arrived 2 weeks later, thick cardstock with gold embossing. Siwetina was marrying Randall Pierce in 30 days at the Grandview Estate, the most expensive venue in the city. The photo showed her dripping in diamonds, Randall's arm possessive around her waist. A handwritten note fell out. Barry, I know this must hurt, but I'm inviting you anyway, because Luna insisted. Try not to embarrass yourself. Also, stop calling my lawyer about the cigar box. There's no proof of anything you claim. Move on. Dorothy read the note over my shoulder. Her face hardened into something terrifying. That woman has no idea what she's done. She made a phone call. Patricia, it's Dorothy Hayes. Remember when I helped your family during the Henderson trial? I need a favor. I slumped in the chair, defeated. Even if I prove I bought the ticket, she claimed it. The law says possession isn't ownership, Dorothy cut me off. We need a forensic document examiner and a very specific type of lawyer. Vinny appeared at the door with his laptop, his face pale. I found something. Randall Pierce's first wife, Gabriella. She won a $3 million settlement in 2015, married Randall 6 months later. Within a year, the money was mysteriously lost in bad investments. She filed for divorce. He turned the laptop toward me. A news article from 2016. Woman missing after filing for divorce, police investigating. Gabriella Pierce had disappeared before the divorce finalized. Her body was never found. Randall had done this before. Dr. Helena Reeves was a forensic document examiner who looked like someone's grandmother, but had the eyes of a hawk. Dorothy's friend, Judge Patricia Thornwood, had ordered the lottery ticket examined as evidence in my divorce proceedings. I'd filed a motion claiming stolen property. The laboratory was sterile and cold. Dr. Reeves placed the ticket under a special scanner, then turned off the lights. The UV lamp clicked on. Purple letters glowed in the corner, clear as daylight. BA02 to 14, the date I bought it, my initials. Siwetina's signature sprawled across the back in regular ink, scrawled right over my invisible marking. This is irrefutable, Dr. Reeves said, photographing it from 6 angles. But there's something else. She dusted the ticket for fingerprints. There's a print here in a very specific spot, where someone would grip a ticket to pull it from a container or box. This print pattern suggests the ticket was stored flat for several weeks, then removed quickly. My lawyer, Jonathan Webb, Dorothy's old friend who'd agreed to take my case pro bono, leaned forward. This proves Barry purchased and marked the ticket, but we need to prove she took it from his possession without consent. I described the cigar box under the bed, how Siwetina had always mocked it, called it my junk box. Jonathan's eyes gleamed. Did anyone witness her accessing this box? My heart clenched. Only Luna. Then we'll need her testimony. The courthouse smelled like old wood and fear. Siwetina arrived with Randall and 3 lawyers in $1,000 suits. She was laughing, confident, wearing designer clothes I could never afford. She thought this was just a custody formality. I sat alone at my table with Jonathan, wearing my only suit, the one I'd bought at Goodwill for my father's funeral 27 years ago. Siwetina's lead lawyer stood, his voice dripping condescension. Your Honor, my client is now a woman of substantial means who can provide the best life for their daughter. The father works minimum wage at a warehouse and lives in a basement apartment. We request full custody with minimal visitation. Judge Patricia Thornwood looked at me. She was in her 50s, stern, with gray hair pulled back tight. Dorothy had helped her sister during a medical malpractice case years ago. Mr. Allen, do you have a response? I stood slowly. My legs shook. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to submit evidence of theft. The courtroom went silent. Siwetina's face drained of color. Randall whispered something urgent to the lawyers. Theft? Judge Thornwood raised an eyebrow. Please explain. Jonathan stood beside me. Your Honor, we have forensic evidence that the lottery ticket Mrs. Allen used to claim $100 million was purchased and owned by Mr. Allen and was taken from his possession without his knowledge or consent. Siwetina's lawyer shot up. Objection. This is a custody hearing, not overruled. Character and honesty are relevant to custody. Mr. Webb, present your evidence. Jonathan presented everything. The forensic report, the security footage, Tommy's testimony about the store cameras. The courtroom watched me on screen, buying the ticket at 6:47 p.m., marking it with the UV pen in the window's reflection. Then, Jonathan dimmed the lights. The UV lamp illuminated the ticket on the projector screen. My initials, BA0214, glowed purple, 15 feet tall for everyone to see. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Siwetina's face was frozen, her mouth slightly open. Mrs. Allen, Jonathan's voice was surgical. Can you explain how your husband's initials and the purchase date are marked in UV ink on the back of a ticket you claim you purchased? She stammered, her confidence shattered. I don't... Maybe he wrote on it after I bought it. Maybe he's lying? Dr. Reeves took the stand, adjusting her glasses. Impossible. UV ink oxidizes over time. Based on the chemical degradation analysis, this marking was made approximately 4 to 6 weeks ago, consistent with the purchase date Mr. Allen testified to. The claimant's signature in regular ink shows minimal oxidation, indicating it was added much later. Jonathan walked to the evidence table. Your Honor, we also have testimony from the couple's 6-year-old daughter, Luna Allen, who witnessed her mother removing items from her father's cigar box. She's prepared to testify. Siwetina broke. No, you can't. She's just a child. She doesn't understand. Judge Thornwood's gavel cracked like thunder. Mrs. Allen, control yourself. Luna sat in Judge Thornwood's private chambers with a child psychologist present. I watched via video feed from the courtroom, my heart shattering with every word. Siwetina gripped Randall's hand so tight her knuckles were white. The psychologist spoke gently. Luna, did you see Mommy take anything from Daddy's special box? Luna nodded, her voice tiny. Yes, the night Daddy worked late. Mommy was looking under the bed. She opened the box and took papers out. She said a bad word when she looked at her phone. Judge Thornwood leaned forward. What did Mommy do with the papers? She put most back, but kept one. She hid it in her purse. Luna's eyes filled with tears. Then she told me if I said anything, Daddy would have to go away forever and we'd never see him again. I heard Siwetina sob from across the courtroom. The psychologist continued, "Did Mommy tell you why she took the paper?" Luna started crying. She said she was going to make us rich and I'd have a new daddy who wasn't broken like Daddy Barry. The words cut deeper than any knife. Broken. That's what I'd been my whole life. Broken from the fire, broken from foster care, broken from never being enough. One more question, Luna. Did you see the paper Mommy took? Luna wiped her eyes. It had numbers on it, like the game Daddy plays every Friday at the store. Judge Thornwood reconvened court 1 hour later. Outside, news vans surrounded the courthouse. Someone had leaked the story. Lottery winner accused of theft from husband. The gallery was packed with reporters. Judge Thornwood's voice was iron. Based on the forensic evidence, eyewitness testimony, security footage, and the testimony of the minor child, I find that Mrs. Siwetina Allen knowingly and willfully stole a lottery ticket from her husband's possession and fraudulently claimed the winnings. This constitutes theft and fraud. Siwetina collapsed into her chair, her designer suit suddenly looking like a costume. Furthermore, Judge Thornwood continued, I am ordering the Lottery Commission to freeze all remaining funds pending a civil trial to determine rightful ownership. Mrs. Allen, you are hereby denied custody of Luna Allen. Full custody is granted to Mr. Barry Allen. You will be allowed supervised visitation only, pending criminal investigation. Randall Pierce shot up. This is insane. You can't. Mr. Pierce, sit down or I'll hold you in contempt. She looked at me. Mr. Allen, you have the option to pursue criminal charges for theft exceeding $100 million. As we exited, reporters swarmed. One shouted, Mr. Pierce, is it true your first wife also won money before she disappeared? Randall's face went ghost white. 2 FBI agents stood by his Bentley, badges gleaming in the sun. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a modest 3-bedroom house with Luna. Not a mansion. I kept my warehouse job, invested the lottery money wisely. Dorothy lives in the guest house, baking cookies and spoiling Luna rotten. Vinny's here for dinner, like he is most Fridays. The TV news plays in the background. Randall Pierce has been charged with fraud, embezzlement, and is a person of interest in the disappearance of his first wife, Gabriella Pierce. Siwetina Allen pleaded guilty to theft and fraud, receiving a 3-year sentence and ordered to repay $50 million in restitution to Barry Allen. Luna runs in with mail. Daddy, this is from Mommy. It's a letter from prison. My hands shake as I open it. Barry, I know sorry isn't enough. I destroyed our family for greed and lies. You tried to give me the world with your lottery dreams and I spat in your face. I don't ask for forgiveness. I just ask that you tell Luna one day that her mother wasn't always a monster. That once, a long time ago, you loved me for a reason. That reason was real, even if I forgot it. Luna looks up at me. Do you still love Mommy? I pull her close, kissing her forehead. I love who she used to be, but I love you and our future more. Dorothy enters. Barry, someone's at the door, from the foster care organization. I smile and sign a check for $20 million to build a new facility. The plaque will read, For every child who thinks they don't deserve good things, you do. I still buy a lottery ticket every Friday at Garcia's. Not for money, but because hope costs $2 and integrity is priceless.